report of this year's edition of Oracle OpenWorld. Sorry, a little bit hectic and a little bit late. I was planning to do this nicely from outdoors as Howard Street is still blocked, but I couldn't get the Oracle OpenWorld Wi-Fi go reliably and run long enough. So thanks for joining me here. And I didn't have my backup hotspot here, not sitting in the Intercontinental Lounge, not with the great best lighting. But hey, before I talk about this, let's do the important formalities. And I'm back, and you saw the Constellation Bingo logo. So, good event overall from Oracle. The official number is 60,000 attendees again this year, very similar to last year. It felt a little more light when you looked at Howard Street, but the reason for that could be that traditionally Howard Street was for meals. I'm not sure when that got changed, and meals always attract people, and with that, you get a better feel how many people are there. The meals were all kind of like off sides, stashed in corners, which probably did better crowd control. But also did makes it harder for us analysts to gauge what the real attendee is. But the number is around 60,000 like last year, so definitely felt as busy than Dreamforce, which is always a good example to compare things with. So let's lots of announcements. Hopefully you've checked out my video of and PowerPoint presentation put in SlideShare 2 of the 22 press releases which Oracle shared till Tuesday morning. Wednesday morning, actually. Only 4 more press releases came out, nothing really major, substantial. Sorry for the customer experience guys, it's the only major one, so not going to go back to that. But let's talk about the major top 3 takeaways. Very difficult to do out of a total of 27 press releases. Thankfully, by the way, Oracle, no press release today. Not sure if the press machine was broken or if we have mercy with us trying to stay on top of that. So the most important takeaway is that infrastructure as a service, the key component for any cloud infrastructure, is there for Oracle. Finally, as long-term attendees might be saying, because we learned about some capabilities missing quite some time ago, which Oracle, contrary to the negative image, shared with us. And the main feature, as Thomas Kurian shared in his keynote, is the auto-scaling capability, which is needed for any modern cloud because it inherits the elasticity of ramping up and ramping down graceful resource. So all the things about dedicated pieces and running your own machines and so on, which you still can do, and of course can do in every cloud. Also Oracle's cloud is this on the dynamic side from the auto-scaling perspective no longer needed. And equally, if it's a managed cloud, you need auto-scaling capabilities for that. So that's coming 2 weeks, as I believe what Thomas Kurian said, conservatively this year. And with that, it really makes the whole cloud story for Oracle complete. The interesting thing is Larry Ellison was pretty open in his Tuesday keynote saying, look, we want to build software as a service, and we learned then that customers need to extend software as a service, and we give them the PaaS and platform as a service. And over in PaaS, we understood really to understand the computing pieces, which is infrastructure as a service. So that journey is completed now, so IaaS is there. Very important landmark for Oracle from a technology stack perspective. On the product side, on the technology side, it's clearly the multi-tenancy capability. It has matured a lot on the database side, which was launched 2 years ago with 12c. Important to understand, we're not talking about the classic tenant multi-tenancy coming from the subscriber as an older SaaS application. We talk about database multi-tenancy, making database pluggable and separating the meta storage from the database load by itself. And that's important capability to move loads, right? And the significant progress and interesting thing was this was done in Demo by Larry on Sunday in a hot database. So you're, while writing into a database on platform or on data center A, you could transfer the database into data center B and nothing will get lost in between. So almost too good to sound to be true, almost like magic, a key capability to run a cloud infrastructure and a key capability for Oracle to say, look, same code on the left, same code on the right on premises as in the cloud as things get together. The major new thing to Oracle 12c pluggable pieces is extended capability, which is getting more mature and uptaking over customers. Talk about that in a second. The key new innovation coming on the multi-tenancy side is JVM multi-tenancy. Moving JVMs was previously almost not possible. You would JVMs would deprecate, would die you couldn't move them basically. You could have running enough and redirect users to the right ones. Now you have multi-tenancy for JVMs, which is a major investment in the WebLogic server. Oracle said it's the biggest enhancement in the WebLogic server since it's part of Oracle. Probably the second largest overall, because it goes really in that's how Java gets executed and runs. And it enables a key thing of moving programming loads again across different WebLogic servers and in different locations and in potentially different data centers. Wasn't shown, but it's something which I guess maybe in two open worlds, like we saw live migration of pluggable databases this year, we might see the same thing for live running JVMs across multiple, which would be very similar to something that VMware showed earlier this year at VMworld about 2 months ago, also here in San Francisco at Moscone. And on the application side, third takeaway, supply chain management really closes the whole functionality of the Oracle Cloud Suite, or formerly known as Fusion Suite. Not sure why supply chain management is always late. There are some good reasons for it. On the shop floor, there's a number of machines which even still require Windows NT, which, as the attentive listener knows, is no longer available, so you need to make these things work. And that means that the SCM world is taking a little more back on things, but key capabilities like order management are going to be very important for Oracle customers in any order management industry. And yeah, perennially, traditionally, SCM is late with that. Order management was launched, new capability. It will be interesting to see how quickly Oracle can catch up on that, but that's the major news. Equally also didn't make it exposed to the old top tier way is the e-commerce suite coming to the tidbits. More tinier things taken here. E-commerce was launched and closes another similar gap like supply chain management, but with that pretty much, at least from announcement level and from reality level, different maturity level, the enterprise suite on the Oracle side, running in the cloud or on-premise, you always have both deployment options, is functionally complete and in a overall and generally in pretty mature and good state. So we should be seeing significant more push from Oracle on the SaaS arena on that. Also a chance that Oracle's UI team does a tradition to show their latest, even some R&D piece and the latest news thinking here in the Intercontinental on the 6th floor. Interesting place because always deja vu and different things happening there with different vendors. But it was good to see, I believe it was called Smart Office, a completely consumer available product base. I think we used a Raspberry Pi, used a couple of Holo, forgot already. Name escapes me, but everything which you can buy if you go into Best Buy right now to automate modern office, walking in, recognizing who you are, setting up your screen, setting up your lights, similar things. All interesting also from a future for work perspective. So always good to see what the UI teams are doing and looking at. Also good to see new UIs coming to the SaaS applications. Putting my HCM hat on, the new learning capability has new waterfall labeled UI, which looks very positive, modern for the 21st century, so a good move in that perspective. And then already on Sunday, Larry showed learning, not learning in the true HCM sense, but in the overall sense of learning in the suite, which is an interesting perspective. That it's becoming an HCM functionality, which as an HCM analyst I like, is becoming something that serves the overall functionality in the Oracle application suite. So the example was a salesperson, marketing person learning, but equally a supply chain management person might be learning something, a procurement person might be learning something. So it's interesting to see these things spreading across the suite, across the platform. Coming to the top 3 positives, top 3 negatives. I mean, on the positive side, it means it's clearly there the integrated stack of Oracle makes significant progress from the silicon to the click, from the chip to the click, as I try to coin this, and moving more things down, right? Larry's presentation on Tuesday was all about security. Putting security on silicon is very strong, very powerful, because you can't modify it like you can do that in software and can't deactivate it. It runs and the chip is there. So interesting also from validating that was a database summit. most of those customers, one was in the cloud, the other ones were not. All of them mentioned security as a concern to move in the public cloud. My follow-up question to them then was, with the new things on the database, on the server side, on the Sun side, to make things more secure, is the security gone? And the security concern was gone, which was interesting to see. So Oracle seems to have hit the right threshold there. But then on top of that, the next question was, and what's the next concern? Next concern is latency. Take it with a grain of salt. These are the people who really run the database, and they probably are worried about their jobs if they move them to the cloud. So we should have the same conversation with their managers a little more level up. The good news also, second good news is on the SaaS side, the suite is getting complete. SCM was one of the big craters there. So very important step for a customer who's in the manufacturing, on the order making and the doing general side, to look at Oracle as a SaaS or as the Fusion cloud-based product as it is right now. And the third one is that Oracle is doing things beyond which you don't hear from the usual competitors, right? So there's a lot of passion around data as a service. Data as a service is one of the 4 layers. When you look at Thomas Curran's presentation, you don't find that at other vendors. Oracle understands this really well with significant investment, especially in the marketing side right now with the BlueKai and Datalogix acquisitions. And I had the chance at dinner last night to speak to the Datalogix folks. So they're doing really, and that's too long for this video takeaways anyway, they're doing the right way how real analytics, predictive analytics should be running with thrashing, with models over models and so on. I was very impressed as they're the first company I ran across who's really doing this. So interesting things around the data as a service side and the predictive analytics and that. Also a big push around the citizen developer already last year, the mobile application and an end-user friendly screen journal application to allow end-user programming to build their own automation, which is very important these days as end-users are getting more and more tired and frustrated to speak to IT or consultants. And this whole risk of getting lost in translation is a major thing which their business users don't have the patience, the time, and won't spend the money around this. So if they can be empowered of doing these things themselves, very, very powerful construction, and Oracle is one of the vendors really pushing that to the forefront. Similar on the integration side, if I do something bad buying a SaaS applications like create also integration problem, Oracle is calling it the citizen integrator, similar like the citizen developer, and solving that thing and getting the forgiveness back, or maybe do the integration without asking the IT guide for forgiveness from that perspective. Coming to the con side, the big question is, of course, will it all work together, right? This is probably the largest engineering project which is out there in the software industry for sure, but it's more than software, right? It's middleware layer, it's hardware, it's operating systems, it's networking pieces, tons of things have to work seamlessly. Here you can see seamlessly touching together or handshaking together, to use an analogy here. And that's never easy to do, right? Lots of lines of code, thousands of engineers. Now it has to all work together. The good news from that perspective is that traditionally escalations and issues which you used to hear from Oracle coming from an average perspective a little more quiet. So its quality seems to be less of a concern, also talking to customers and partners, which is a good, significant progress, important thing for Oracle. But they have to keep it like this because they're building something much, much more complex than other people. The next concern is now that it's there, now that they've built it, they have to sell it. There's pretty much no excuse anymore not to push for full selling sales pieces, whereas before Oracle wasn't really, really actionable without a full elastic infrastructure as a service set. And last concern, third concern, Oracle really needs the love of the customers. Oracle is not maybe the most customer-friendly company out there, vendor out there, likes to do audits of customers being under license or finding out what the license status is. Oracle needs to have these customers, take these customers from their existing products to the cloud-based products, and hopefully for Oracle as an intention, as a measure, deploy many of them in the cloud and not on-premise. That's an act of trust, and you only need to commit that act of trust with somebody you trust as a provider. It's very different if I buy something from someone I may not like so much, but then I have it, and let's make the example, right? I may not like my car dealer, but I like that car brand, so I buy a car from them every 3-4 years, but I own that car, and I never see them again, right? This changes in the service side, and it's a major takeaway. Oracle is becoming less of a software company, much, much more of a service company, and service companies need to earn their trust and need to earn their street cred and their reliability and their renewal every year or every quarter, or whatever the contract length is. And that's a significant challenge from a cultural perspective, from a way of doing business for Oracle, and will be very interesting to see in the next years how Oracle will overcome that. For customers, it's overall good news, I would say, because then more things come together. I mean, Oracle's in this march of the integrated stack since probably 4 years right now. Larry's visions of becoming the IBM of the 21st century is the one which Oracle's taking. Customers are not surprised by this. If you don't like this, then you have to go somewhere else anyway, already writing off this in the wall. So customers who are here obviously like that and value that, and there's no concern ultimately why this should not be working, except the quality concerns I mentioned before. So for customers, I'm doing horizontal inner layer, like talking like, for instance, enterprise software. The more is there, the more fits together, has been the thing. Suites always win in enterprise software, as we've seen that before. The same thing as well for middleware pieces, the same thing as well for the most capable database. It gives me more flexibility. Migrating platform is always hard, is always risky. So doing that better is something which companies really want to do. So it's clear that in the layers, a suite perspective really works well. The question is really like across the layers. Do I want to put all the eggs in one basket? Can the pieces, as Oracle has shown, for instance, see my blog post on the 2-socket server, read a vendor profile we published last week about the storage piece? Can Oracle really make this work together from a perspective across the vertical layers, right? And that is a real gambit, because it has not been there across so many layers, from the chip all the way to the click on top before in the marketplace. So should be valuable because there's benefits, and Oracle has been able to show them. But customers have to be convinced, and ultimately comes all back to the trust question. Interesting also for prospects with the duality of running on-premise and in the cloud at the same time. So value proposition, which is both insurance policy for taking things back and insurance policy for the future, as you can start on-premise and move things in the future as you like, without having to rebuild and recode things. So all strong value propositions from the Oracle. Will customers trust and be their trusted partner for a service business, which is very different than a perpetual license purchasing business, and same thing on the hardware, you buy the machines, analogous to the car park. That's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. Good open world overall, significant, lots of announcements, lots of things happening. Good progress by Oracle. Now customers have to understand what it is, Oracle has to sell it to them, and customers have to trust Oracle as their technology provider of not only just the wide part in a single layer, but also a deep perspective overall layer. Thanks for watching. See you soon.